Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's that time of year again, that magical time when we're all filled with the sparkling promise of a fresh start. A chance to reinvent ourselves, to finally become the best versions of ourselves we always knew we could be. Yes, folks, it's New Year's resolution time. But let's be real for a second, shall we? How many of us have made these grand declarations, only to find them, shall we say, a tad forgotten by the time Valentine's Day rolls around? You know what I'm talking about? That half-eaten box of chocolates mocking you from the cupboard? It's like that gym membership you swore you'd use every day. And the sad truth is, studies show that around 80% of us, yes, 80%, fall off the resolution wagon faster than you can say dry January. So, what's the deal? Why do we set ourselves up for failure year after year? And more importantly, how can we escape this vicious cycle of good intentions and disappointing outcomes? That's what we're diving into today, my friends. We're going deep, exploring the psychology behind why resolutions fail, and more importantly, arming you with practical strategies, real-world tips, and maybe even a few laughs along the way to help you actually, truly, genuinely stick to those resolutions this year. So grab your notebooks, your metaphorical tool belts, and let's get this new year started right. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the treadmill gathering dust in the corner. One of the biggest reasons resolutions bite the dust is that we tend to, how shall I put this delicately, overestimate our abilities. We set these wildly ambitious goals, these monumental mountains to climb, without considering the oxygen masks we might need along the way. It's like saying, right, this year I'm going to channel my inner superhero and transform myself into a lean, mean marathon running machine while simultaneously demolishing a box of holiday cookies. Now, don't get me wrong, ambition is a wonderful thing. But there's a fine line between healthy striving and setting ourselves up for a faceplant. We need to be realistic, folks. Instead of saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, which, let's face it, sounds more like a reality TV show challenge than a sustainable lifestyle change, how about I'm going to make healthier food choices and move my body for at least 30 minutes most days of the week? See the difference? It's about setting achievable goals, those bite-sized, manageable steps that lead to long-term success, rather than trying to swallow the entire cake in one go. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, my friends, and neither is a healthier, happier you. We're playing the long game here, a marathon, not a sprint. So let's ditch the pressure of overnight transformations and embrace the beauty of gradual progress. All right, let's talk about the importance of being specific. Because, let's be honest, I'm going to be healthier this year is about as helpful as a chocolate teapot when it comes to actually making a change. It's like saying, I'm going on an adventure. Well, that's great, but where are you going? What are you going to do? Are we talking a weekend camping trip or a year-long backpacking expedition across the Himalayas? Specificity is key, my friends. Instead of vague pronouncements like, I'm going to save more money, we need to get crystal clear on what we want to achieve. How much money do you want to save? By when? And crucially, how are you going to do it? Are you going to cut back on those daily takeaway coffees? Negotiate a better deal on your internet package? Start selling your handmade crafts on Etsy? The point is, the more specific you are, the more likely you are to actually follow through. It's like the difference between saying, I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to write 1,000 words every morning before work on my novel about a time-traveling detective who solves crimes with the help of a talking cat. Write down your goals, break them down into measurable milestones, and create a plan of attack. Now let's talk about setbacks, shall we? Because let's face it, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. It's like that time you decided to make a souffle to impress your date, only to have it dramatically deflate the moment the doorbell rang. Or that time you wore your brand new white jeans on a rainy day. We've all been there, folks. The thing is, setbacks are a normal, inevitable part of life, and that includes the journey of achieving our goals. You might miss a workout, overspend 1 week, or find yourself face down in a tub of ice cream after a particularly trying day. It happens to the best of us. The problem is, many of us view setbacks as failures, as proof that we're not cut out for this whole resolution thing. But here's the thing. A setback is only a failure if you let it be. The key is to expect setbacks, to plan for them as you would any other obstacle on your path. Acknowledge that there will be bumps in the road, detours, and maybe even the occasional roadblock. Chapter 4. Setting smart goals. And no, I don't mean your phone. Right, let's talk smart goals. Because honestly, who doesn't love a good acronym? And no, I'm not talking about the latest smartphone or some fancy gadget. SMART, in this case, stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Think of it as the ultimate checklist for setting goals that actually stick, like a well-tailored suit for your aspirations. So, let's break it down, shall we? Specific. We've touched on this before, but it bears repeating. Vague goals lead to vague results. Instead of saying, I want to exercise more, get specific. What kind of exercise do you enjoy? How often do you want to work out? Where will you do it? Next up, measurable. You need a way to track your progress, to see how far you've come and how much further you need to go. Now for achievable. Be ambitious, yes, but also be realistic. And finally, time-bound. Give yourself a deadline, a finish line to strive towards. Chapter 5. Less is more, the power of focus in achieving your resolutions. All right, let's talk about focus, shall we? Because in a world of endless distractions, shiny objects, and notifications pinging at us like it's going out of style, focusing on what truly matters can feel like trying to meditate in a wind tunnel. It's tempting, oh so tempting, to overhaul our entire lives come January 1st. We're going to become gourmet chefs, marathon runners, best-selling authors, and master meditators, all while maintaining a spotless home and cultivating a thriving social life. But here's the thing. Spreading ourselves too thin is a recipe for disaster. The truth is, our brains are wired for focus. We're simply not designed to effectively juggle multiple complex goals at once. So instead of trying to conquer the world in one fell swoop, let's channel our inner laser beams and focus on one or two resolutions that truly matter to us. Pick the goals that resonate deeply with your values, your aspirations, and your vision for your best life. By focusing our time, energy, and attention on a select few goals, we're far more likely to see them through to completion. Chapter 6. The Art of Planning. Breaking it down to build it up. All right. Let's talk about the importance of having a plan because, let's be honest, I'll get around to it eventually is not a strategy. It's a recipe for procrastination and disappointment. The truth is, even the most ambitious goals, the most audacious dreams, are achieved one step at a time. It's like climbing Mount Everest. You don't just teleport to the summit, do you? Although, wouldn't that be nice? No, you train, you prepare, and you tackle that bad boy one base camp at a time. The same principle applies to our resolutions. Whether you're aiming to write a novel, learn a new language, or simply declutter your home, breaking down that big, seemingly insurmountable goal into smaller, more manageable steps is the key to success. So, how do we do it? First, visualize your end goal. Next, work backward from that end goal, identifying the key milestones you need to hit along the way. Once you have your milestones mapped out, break them down even further into bite-sized action steps. Outro, here's to a year of progress, not perfection. So there you have it, folks. We've explored the psychology behind why resolutions often fail, and more importantly, we've armed ourselves with practical strategies, actionable tips, and maybe even a few laughs along the way to help us actually stick to those resolutions this year. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making consistent progress, one step at a time. It's about embracing the journey, setbacks and all, and celebrating those small victories along the way. And hey, if you happen to fall off the wagon, just dust yourself off, take a deep breath, and start again.